Have you ever noticed how certain household items accumulate and take up unnecessary space? As we age, clutter can easily build up, comprising old furniture, stacks of papers, and sentimental items tucked away. But before you reach the age of 70, there are specific household items you must declutter. Decluttering isn't just about making space. It's about creating a lighter, easier to manage, and more aligned home with your desired lifestyle. In this video, we'll explore 6 household items that weigh you down more than you realize. Whether it's items you've held onto due to habit, outdated belongings no longer serving you, or objects silently adding stress to your daily routine, you'll discover why letting go of them can bring unexpected relief. More importantly, we'll learn how to declutter these items. Decluttering isn't about loss, it's about gaining freedom. Let's begin with the first item: worn out and unused furniture. One of the biggest culprits of household clutter is old furniture that no longer serves a purpose. Over the years, it's easy to accumulate extra chairs, tables, and cabinets, pieces that might have been useful at one point but now sit unused, taking up valuable space. Holding onto furniture that is no longer functional or comfortable isn't just a physical burden. It can also create unnecessary stress. Consider the bulky recliner in the corner that no one uses, the oversized dining table that hasn't been used for a big family gathering in years, or the dresser with sticky drawers that frustrate you every time you try to open it. These items aren't contributing to your life, they're simply filling space. As we age, having too much furniture can actually make our homes harder to navigate, increasing the risk of bumping into things, tripping, or feeling overwhelmed by excessive clutter. Take Frank, for instance. He's 74 and has lived in the same house for decades. Over the years, he accumulated furniture, some inherited, some purchased, and some gifted by friends. Initially, his home felt cozy, but as time passed, he began to notice a change. Moving around became increasingly challenging, cleaning took longer, and certain rooms transformed into storage spaces rather than inviting relaxation areas. It wasn't until his daughter casually pointed out that he had 5 chairs in his living room, only 2 of which were ever used, that he realized it was time for a change. So he took a bold step. He started with one room, intentionally letting go of items that no longer served a practical purpose. The broken chair with the wobbly leg, the massive coffee table that obstructed the room, and various other pieces were discarded. As he cleared each item, he unexpectedly felt a sense of relief. His home felt more spacious, inviting, and ultimately easier to live in. This realization underscores the significance of furniture in our lives. When it serves a purpose, it enhances our experiences. However, when it becomes mere clutter, it subtly drains our energy and clutters our spaces. It's not necessary to have a house filled with furniture to feel like home. In fact, the fewer possessions you have, the more you appreciate what remains. If you're holding onto furniture that no longer serves you, ask yourself, when was the last time I actually used this? If the answer requires thought, it's likely time to let it go. Because a home that's easy to navigate, clean, and truly enjoyable is far more valuable than any unused chair or table taking up space. Another area where we often accumulate unnecessary items is our wardrobes. We may hold onto clothing that no longer fits, dresses we bought for special occasions that have gone out of style, or piles of old t-shirts that remain untouched in our drawers. Regardless of the reason, before you reach the age of 70, it's crucial to take a critical look at your wardrobe and ask yourself, do I truly need all of this? Clothing isn't just taking up space, it's adding unnecessary clutter to our lives. Each garment holds memories, from the jacket worn to a significant event to the jeans once loved but forgotten. Even old shoes quietly occupy space. For many, discarding old clothes feels like letting go of the past. However, your closet should reflect your current identity, not your past. Take Linda, for instance. At 72, her closet was packed with clothes she rarely wore. She had dresses from the 80s, jackets untouched for decades, and shoes that looked good but hurt her feet. Every morning, she stood in front of her closet, overwhelmed by the sheer number of choices, most of which were no longer practical. One day, Linda decided to make a change. She pulled everything out of her closet and created 3 piles, one for clothes she loved and wore, one for clothes that no longer fit or felt comfortable, and one for items she kept just in case. The last pile was the most challenging. As she let go of things she hadn't worn in years, she realized something profound. She wasn't losing anything. She was gaining space, clarity, and a wardrobe that simplified her daily routine. Decluttering your clothes, as the server Soren Sandesitem would say, isn't just about getting rid of fabric. It's about simplifying your life. It makes getting dressed easier, helps you find what you truly enjoy wearing, and frees you from unnecessary baggage. And the best part, someone else could benefit from those clothes. Instead of letting them sit in your closet, why not donate them to someone who needs them? So, if your closet is overflowing with clothes you never wear, ask yourself, do I really need this? If it doesn't fit, is uncomfortable, or you haven't worn it in years, it's time to let it go. At this stage of life, you deserve a wardrobe that works for you, not one that weighs you down. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment on the second video below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend subscribing and turning on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Now, let's move on to the third category, expired medications and old toiletries. One of the most overlooked forms of household clutter is something you likely have in your bathroom: expired medications and old toiletries. These items tend to accumulate without our awareness. Maybe it's a bottle of pain relievers from years ago, half-used prescription medications you never finished, or skincare products you bought but never truly liked. Before you know it, your drawers and cabinets are filled with things you no longer use. And worse, some of them could even be unsafe. Medications expire for a reason. Over time, their effectiveness weakens, and in some cases, they can even become harmful. Holding onto old prescriptions just in case might seem harmless, but the truth is, if you ever need that medication again, you should consult your doctor for a fresh prescription, one that's up to date and appropriate for your current health needs. Yet, many of us keep bottles of expired pills tucked away, unaware that they serve no real purpose other than taking up space and adding unnecessary risk. Toiletries are no different. That old bottle of lotion you haven't used in years, that tube of sunscreen from who knows when, or that perfume you stopped wearing a decade ago, these things don't last forever. Many people are unaware that skincare products and cosmetics also have expiration dates, and using them beyond their prime can cause skin irritation or infections. Despite this, we often hold on to them, hoping to use them in the future. However, it's important to be honest with ourselves. If you haven't used a product in months or years, it's likely that you won't. Take Robert, for instance. At 75, he takes pride in maintaining an organized home. One day, while searching for a bandage, he opened his medicine cabinet and discovered bottles and boxes he hadn't touched in years. Expired painkillers, half-used tubes of antibiotic cream, and a prescription for something he no longer needed were all sitting there. When he finally took the time to go through everything, he was shocked by the amount of unused items he had been keeping just in case. As he cleared out the cabinet, he felt a sense of relief, knowing that everything left was safe and useful. This realization underscores the importance of decluttering medications and toiletries. Decluttering isn't just about tidying up. It's about prioritizing safety, ensuring you have what you truly need and letting go of unnecessary items. When you clear out expired medications, you make room for the ones you rely on. Similarly, getting rid of old toiletries simplifies your daily routine and ensures that everything you use is fresh and effective. If it's been a while since you've checked your medicine cabinet, bathroom drawers, or mailbox, now is the time to take action. Review your medications and discard any that have expired. If you no longer need a prescription, dispose of it properly instead of letting it accumulate. When it comes to toiletries, be honest with yourself. If you haven't used something in over a year, it's probably best to let it go and embrace the simplicity of having only what you truly need. Lastly, let's address the often overlooked clutter of old papers, documents, and unused mail. Paper is one of the most common forms of clutter, yet it's also one of the easiest to ignore. Over the years, unnecessary paperwork accumulates in various places, from tables and drawers to old folders and boxes. It includes outdated bills, expired warranties, and instruction manuals for appliances. The amount of this clutter in most homes is staggering. Before you turn 70, it's time to take control of it. Paper clutter isn't just about taking up space, it can also cause stress. Imagine the frustration of searching for an important document amidst stacks of papers that should have been discarded years ago. Or consider the overwhelming feeling of unopened mail piling up on the counter, making you feel perpetually behind on tasks. The truth is, most of the papers we keep are no longer necessary. Letting them go can bring an unexpected sense of relief. Take Barbara, for instance. At 73, she had an entire filing cabinet filled with documents dating back decades, old utility bills, receipts from forgotten purchases, and even tax returns from the 1980, papers that had been sitting there for years without a valid reason to keep them. One day, as she struggled to find an important insurance document, Barbara realized the extent of her outdated and irrelevant paperwork. It took time, but she decided to go through everything, keeping only the documents that truly mattered. By the time she was done, she had reduced her paperwork by more than half. For the first time in years, she knew exactly where to find what she needed. Decluttering your papers isn't just about making space in your home. It's also about freeing your mind from the mental clutter associated with piles of mail, stacks of outdated documents, and folders filled with things you'll never need again. And the best part? With today's technology, most important records can be accessed digitally, eliminating the need to keep physical copies of everything. So, how do you start decluttering your papers? First, sort through your paperwork with a critical eye. If it's something you haven't touched in years, chances are you don't need it. Shred old bank statements and expired contracts. Recycle manuals for appliances you no longer own. Keep only the essential legal, financial, and medical documents, and organize them in a way that makes them easy to access when you actually need them. And when it comes to mail, stop letting it pile up. Junk mail, discard it immediately. Bills, pay them and file only what's necessary. Newsletters or magazines you never read. Cancel the subscriptions. The goal is simple. Only keep the papers that truly serve a purpose and let go of the rest. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating informative and inspiring content. Now, let's move forward. Number 5. Kitchen items you never use. The kitchen is one of the most cluttered areas in any home. Over time, it's easy to accumulate items that serve no real purpose. Cabinets filled with mismatched containers, drawers stuffed with utensils you never use, old pots and pans gathering dust before you turn 70. It's time to clear out the kitchen clutter that's making your space more chaotic than it needs to be. Many people hold on to kitchen items out of habit. Maybe it's a set of fancy dishes you've been saving for a special occasion that never materializes. Or small appliances you bought years ago but haven't touched since. You might even have 3 or 4 versions of the same tool. A collection of spatulas, multiple coffee mugs, or an overflowing drawer of plastic lids with no matching containers. But here's the truth. A kitchen filled with unused or unnecessary items doesn't make life easier, it makes it harder. Take George, for instance. He's 76 and has lived in the same house for decades. Over the years, his kitchen accumulated a clutter of gadgets and cookware he rarely used. Blenders, food processors, and toasters sat untouched, while plates and glasses piled high in cabinets and drawers crammed with forgotten tools. Every time he needed something, he had to navigate through this mess to find it. One day, after knocking over a pile of unused baking sheets while searching for a pan, he realized enough was enough. So, he made a decision. He systematically went through his kitchen, section by section, asking himself a simple question: do I actually use this? If the answer was no, he set it aside. Duplicates were eliminated, expired spices and pantry items were tossed, and the bread maker he had bought years ago and used only once was donated. By the time he was finished, his kitchen transformed into a completely different space. It was more functional, organized, and most importantly, easier to use. And that's the key. When you let go of kitchen items you never use, you create a space that works for you, not against you. Cooking became simpler, cleaning took less time, and you no longer felt overwhelmed by cluttered countertops or stuffed cabinets. You didn't need an overflowing kitchen to prepare delicious meals. You just needed the essentials. So, take a look around your kitchen. Open your cabinets, check your drawers, and ask yourself, when was the last time I used this? If it's been years, if it's just collecting dust, or if it's something you're only keeping in case, then it's time to let it go. Because a kitchen filled with only what you actually use isn't just easier to manage. It makes daily life smoother and more enjoyable. Now, let's talk about sentimental items that no longer serve you. One of the most challenging aspects of decluttering is sentimental items. Old letters, gifts from loved ones, souvenirs from past vacations, or boxes filled with memories from decades ago carry emotional weight, making it difficult for many people to let them go. However, here's something to consider before you reach the age of 70. It's crucial to assess whether these sentimental objects bring you genuine joy or simply occupy unnecessary space. Many individuals cling to sentimental items due to guilt about letting them go. Gifts from deceased relatives, stacks of greeting cards from distant birthdays, childhood keepsakes from children or grandchildren, these items evoke cherished memories, but they can also become overwhelming when they accumulate. The truth is, memories reside within us, not within objects. Excessive accumulation of sentimental clutter doesn't honor the past, it merely complicates our present. Consider Helen, a 78-year-old woman who had been burdened by boxes and boxes of old letters, souvenirs, and keepsakes from various stages of her life. When she moved into a smaller dwelling, she realized she had an entire storage unit filled with items she hadn't touched in years. Initially, the prospect of discarding anything felt insurmountable. What if she would forget the memories associated with those items? What if letting go felt like erasing a part of her existence? However, she underwent a transformative shift. Instead of holding on to everything, she adopted a selective approach. She retained a few truly meaningful items: her wedding album, a few cherished letters from loved ones, and a small collection of souvenirs that brought her a smile. The rest she released. She donated items that could still be useful to others. She captured photos of things she wanted to remember but didn't require physical storage. As she did so, she experienced an unexpected sense of relief. This realization is often overlooked. Decluttering sentimental items doesn't imply forgetting the past. It creates space to fully embrace the present. It involves retaining the best while letting go of the rest. Ultimately, it involves choosing to surround yourself with items that bring you happiness rather than objects that weigh you down. So, if you've been holding onto sentimental items that have become more of a burden than a blessing, take a moment to reflect on your situation. Do you need to keep every letter, souvenir, and keepsake to remember the people and experiences that shaped you? Or can you hold onto those memories in your heart while freeing up space in your home? Because at this stage of life, the most valuable things aren't the ones collecting dust. They're the ones that bring you peace and joy every day. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment on number 6 below to let us know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating informative and inspiring content. As we conclude this video, take a moment to reflect on the 6 household items we've discussed. Decluttering before you turn 70 isn't just about making space. It's about creating a home that feels lighter, easier to manage, and more aligned with the life you desire. Each item you let go of isn't a loss. It's a step towards simplicity, clarity, and peace of mind. What stood out to you the most? Which of these items do you see in your own home? Perhaps you've already begun letting go of furniture that no longer serves you. Maybe you've realized how much easier life would be without the clutter of old papers, unused kitchen items, or sentimental objects that no longer bring you joy. Or perhaps this video gave you a new perspective on why decluttering isn't just about physical possessions, it's about achieving freedom. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to incorporate it into your life. Your thoughts are precious to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments provides us with immense motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it. Your support is instrumental in helping us continue creating valuable content to inform and inspire you. Thank you for watching, and we eagerly anticipate seeing you in the next video.